In this training video, we will go over report generation. There are two report output options, PDF and Excel. Basically, in this screen, first of all, you choose the report template for which you want to generate reports. I will choose the high-density multi-sheet report, and then you see in this pane each of the sheets for that report template. If I open up that template, you'll see it has an HD, summary, and compounds worksheets. So this is a sample-centric high-density report sheet. This is a summary report sheet, which I will want to run once for the batch. It's just basically a summary of all the samples in the batch. And this is a simple compounds report, which I will want to run once per compound, which lists out some information about each compound. To set this up, I can edit the report generation rules, and for the first sheet I can specify that it run for these three specific samples. My other options are to run it for each sample in the batch, the first sample in the batch, the last sample in the batch, specific sample types, or specific samples. For the second report sheet, I want to set that up as a batch because I only want it to run once per batch. So I simply select the batch option. And for the third report sheet, I will choose to run this either for each compound, which will run it for all the compounds in the batch, or for specific compound types. In this case, I'm going to choose specific compound types, target compound and internal standard. Once I've selected my report generation rules, and one note about how this works, it basically loops through each sample for a sample-centric report and sets the context to that specific sample. So if I were to open up my report template, go to the first report sheet, and select this sample, that's essentially what is happening during report generation time. It will set the context to the first, second, and third samples and then generate the report. Same thing for compounds. It will loop through each one of the compounds, set the context to those compounds which match those criteria, and generate the report. My two report generation output format options are PDF and Excel. And then I have a generation button. Down here I can see information about the reports as they're generated, which template is currently being generated, which sheet of the template, and which sample and compound. If I want to view the output, I can click the View button, and that report file will be opened. Here is a PDF generated report, and here is a Excel generated report. You'll notice that the Excel reports output to a single file for that report template. The sheets in the output format will be in the order of the report sheets of the template, with a replicate sheet per sample for sample-centric report sheets, a single sheet for batch report generation option, and one sheet per compound-centric. You'll notice that there is a 31 character length limit for sheets, and so the last 31 characters are taken so that those sheets can remain unique and valid. Any invalid symbols are also stripped out: question marks, colons, / backslashes, etc. There are two ways to kick off report generation. One is to start from the report preview window by pressing the generate button, and that will generate the selected report only, or to kick off from the submission dialog, which will kick off report generation for all report templates selected for that batch. To choose which report templates to run during report generation, you can open up the Select Include Templates dialog, select the templates, to include, choose the rules for those templates, and then kick off report generation for that batch. You'll notice that kicking off report generation from the Submit dialog will also display the current progress in the reporting preview window. Legacy reporting is displayed here in the queue. However, the reporting plugin progress is displayed in the reporting preview window. Go ahead and pause the video while this is generating. Okay, all my reports have finished generating, and I can scroll through this list to view all those reports, both PDF and Excel. If there happens to be an error during report generation for that report, you will see an error message in place of the report file name. If you want to open the folder where reports are generated, you can click on this icon, the View Generated Reports icon, which will open the Windows Explorer folder in which those reports are generated. And you can open any one of those reports. And remember, there is a help icon both here, which will take you to the help page for report generation, including this video, and also a report generation help icon here, which is specific to the conditions window. One additional tidbit of information: the mechanism for enabling report generation and legacy report generation is done through the Administrator Console, Plugins page, Plugin Configuration. There is only two simple checkboxes here for the reporting plugin settings. This will cause legacy reporting to be run as normal, and like I said earlier, will show up in the real-time status window, and this will cause plugin reporting to be executed from the Submit dialog. So if you check both of them, both types of reports will be run. Legacy reports show up in the Reports folder, and plugin reports in the new reporting engine show up in the Report Output folder of that particular batch. If you want to look at the reporting log, you can choose the Open Reporting Log menu option, where you will find detailed error messages or other status messages, or the feedback window, which will give any additional detailed feedback. One point regarding report generation rules is that they are stored per template. Templates are stored in a single place for all batches. So if you edit the report generation rules for one template, that will become effective across all of your batches. If you do not want this to be the case, then you should copy your template via the Save As function. In a later version, you will most likely be able to override those report generation rules on a per batch basis, but the defaults will always be set and stored in the report template itself in this .metadata file. I hope that this video has been helpful on how to generate reports in the new TraceFinder 3.1 reporting plugin. Thank you, and we look forward to your feedback.